FIFA rules expert is with us. Christina, what would have been the process here for VAR?
Yeah, so I mean, TT hit it on the head, right? It's the rule, it's simple, it's straight, it's been touched. But one thing to also take into remembering of this is that the VAR also has the technology of semi-automated offside technology, where they are able to see at that kick point and have that extra technology to say when there is a touch on that ball. So every time we have a strike here, we have that ability for that. There's not a chip in the ball, which is what we saw at the World Cup here, but with that extra layer of technology gives that additional sequencing. So from a VAR perspective, they're taking a look at not just the video, but as well as the touch points, where semi-automated has about 26 different cameras looking at limb tracking technology, as well as a camera that's on the ball in and of itself, which gives that VAR the ability to be more concise and direct and know when that ball was actually touched outside from the naked eye as well. So VAR will then come in on to the referee. The referee is always listening into the ear and waiting for a VAR to say check complete before they continue with the next kick. So naturally, when they're saying we're checking, the referee holds play on this. So at this point, VAR is not only looking at the video, but is also looking to see that sequencing with the semi-automated offside technology to give that confirmation whether it's not. Now, what I would like to have seen, and maybe the referee did, but from the angles that we looked at, is the referee be a little bit more demonstrative in indicating the VAR signal with the TV signal to really kind of help sell and explain the decision on the field, so there wasn't as much confusion from a viewer perspective. But the rule is the rule, the law is the law, and with the technology and how precise football has asked it to be and has invested millions of dollars in it, that's the difference, and that's what you get today.
That data that you talk about, Christina, the touch point data, is that something that UEFA will make public? Will they release that information?
I'm not sure they Yeah, they haven't necessarily released the information prior to. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, based on some demands and some requests. This is a bit of a case of first impression, I can tell you that. I mean, I've never really had someone slip and fall and still make it into the back of the net. So if there is a demand for it, they probably could, but I think it's pretty straightforward. That would just be something of unique, and would be up to UEFA competitions to determine whether that is something they would want to allow, because it could be a little bit of a slippery slope in the sense that if there's a future decision that's being objected, whether or not they want to set that type of a case precedence in releasing that type of information.
I assume that when you're talking to us, you're assuming that there is data that supports the fact that there was a double touch and that that's why that decision was made. But just from looking at that footage, Terry says that he sees it clearly. Do you see it clearly?
I wouldn't say that it would be necessarily, I mean, it's enough for me, but it's still not where, if we're putting this on a quick social media clip, if you're getting that distributed, people are going to take a quick look and say, I didn't see a material or significant touch. There's a little bit is about right there, but when you kind of zoom in on it from the angles that we have, as opposed to the angles that the referee team has with a lot more different types of angles and the ability to zoom in at a higher resolution, there could be some doubt put into play based on the resolution of the camera and the depth of it. So that's where I would say that, from our perspective, from the VAR perspective and what they have that more precise information. But you got to understand the fans love to always have something kind of controversial. So that's probably why it needs to be sold a little bit more with the data.